Again, this is the No Regrets Men's Ministry 2026 No Regrets Conference informational webinar. And tonight, your hosts are myself, Dave Sonderman, who is I am the conference lead for the ministry, and then Dean Brown, who is the director of discipleship at Buffalo Covenant Church. And I've asked Dean to join us because they are a long-term host site. And I thought it would be good to have that perspective and for each of you to be able to ask questions and him to provide input in the various areas that we're going to cover tonight. And we will, you can see the agenda tonight, as we mentioned, in the email, and we'll do our best to get through that and then have plenty time for, some questions and answers if you have anything. So if you can obviously put something in the, maybe just jot it down as we go through, and we'll try to answer them. But if something really comes up and you want to ask a question during the presentation, that's fine as well. But again, what we're going to try to cover is really I know probably some of you may not know what No Regrets Men's Ministry is all about. So I'll give you a kind of a brief overview there, and then we'll talk about what is really the impact of the conference itself. We'll walk through the event, kind of what the day looks like, and then look at some of the technology requirements, support and resources, and then really how to register. And then we'll kind of end with some questions and answers. All right. No Regrets Men's Ministry. What is it? The ministry started back in the early 90s by Steve Sonderman when he was at Elmbrook Church in Brookfield, Wisconsin. And really why we exist is to equip leaders to disciple the men of their church and community. And our vision really is for exponential growth of discipleship, to really catalyze a global movement of men's discipleship, one that multiplies disciple leaders and small groups. And how we do this is we really walk alongside training and equipping and supporting the local church and individual men so that biblical and spiritual awakening will move across the globe. And we do this through, training, discipleship resources, and obviously this annual conference. Again, this is just kind of a pictorial view of our ministry and what our vision is. And on kind of the left side there, you'll see what our real goal in all this is to really walk alongside you so that you can reach men in your church and community. You can root these men in Jesus, release these men to Jesus's service and mission. But then also really critical is to reproduce leaders. That is what we are really focused on. And we do this through a variety of resources that we provide, not necessary to use, but we do provide these very proven resources over the last 30 years. But one of them is our Base Camp. It's a foundational discipleship training program. We have Disciple Maker 101, which is a 10-week disciple program, how to make disciples, basically. And then the Discipleship or Disciple Maker 201 is basically we come alongside a church and help them to develop a ministry to men within their church. And it's through coaching, training, and leadership to do that with churches across the world. And then Disciple Maker 301 is really for the individual man to really develop them as a individual leader. And again, on the right, I won't go through all that, but we do that, obviously the conference and podcasts and our websites and training, one-on-one coaching, and then the conference itself, obviously, are all the resources that we provide. So what is the conference? It is a one-day conference on the first Saturday in February, and we've been doing this since 1994. So this will be our 33rd annual No Regrets Conference. And we stream it to churches, homes, universities, correctional facilities, businesses, and individuals in over 33 states, 13 countries. And last year, we streamed it to over 25,000 men around the world. We do have it really is it hosted and it's live at the Elmbrook Church in Brookfield, Wisconsin. Um, and really the key part, and when we survey men each year in churches, is why, what is kind of the biggest thing that you gain from it, or why do you join us at the conference? It's really because of the world-class teaching. We bring in pastors and teachers from all over the world who really provide challenging and relevant topics to men of all ages, like discipleship, prayer, evangelizing, parenting, marriage, spiritual growth, biblical manhood, temptations, and many others. We have powerful worship, we have inspirational testimonies. And one of the great features that we've built into it over the last few years is discussion time. And this is a time where we build into the conference day time of discussion for small groups and individual churches to spend some time after each seminar period and really discuss the seminar, talk about what the application is for that. So it's not just a bunch of teaching, but we really encourage this discussion to really take it to the next level. And one of the other things with this event is that you can really customize it to your own. You could add your own local worship, your own seminars, lunch, breakfast. We see a variety of ways that churches and communities and small groups are utilizing the conference to make it their own. So why host it? Kind of four key things is one, it equips your men for Christ. Through this teaching, the world-class teaching, your men will leave really equipped to not only know Jesus, but to follow him. It's an opportunity to strengthen and energize your men. When you spend an entire day together, sharpening and challenging one another, as the iron sharpens iron, transforming men's lives and empowering them to walk in a loving, trusting obedience to Jesus Christ. And again, during the day, men will be encouraged to be who God created them to be. And then catalyze discipleship. And this is really the key, is that this is not just a one-day event. What the No Regrets ministry is really about is not only this event, but the other 364 days. So churches can really use this conference as a launching point to kick off their ministry to men for the rest of the year. We do provide a free 6-week small group study based on the seminars from the conference that we really encourage small groups and churches to use to kind of follow up the conference and then hopefully continue using other content throughout the year. And then we also provide, or really provide every seminar from the conference, as well as past conferences, are provided for free of charge on our website. So that's another resource for small groups to be able to use throughout the year. They can use those seminars, have a small group discussion around them on all the different topics that I mentioned. Dean, maybe if you can jump in here, is to just maybe talk a few minutes about, from a host site standpoint, from your perspective, what has been the impact, and why? And really, I mean, in a few words, why have you hosted a conference, and what has been the impact for you?
Yeah, thanks, Dave. Hello, everybody. As Dave said, I'm the director of discipleship here at Buffalo Covenant, and we've been hosting the conference at our church for at least 10 to 12 years now, maybe a little more. I've only been a part of this church for 4 years, 3 years as a member, and then just was recently voted in to be a full-time pastor on staff after retirement of 7 years, but I'm honored to do that. And it has just really energized our men's ministry, which is one of my areas of responsibility here at Buffalo Covenant. The guys really do look forward to this every year. They keep asking throughout, hey, No Regrets coming up? Yep, it's coming up. Are we doing it? Yep, we're doing it. We'll be taking part. And it really has helped in the year and a half that, or in the 4 years that I've been coming to the conference, 2 years as an attender, and then 2 years as being a leadership role of that. So it's been a plus for our ministry here at Buffalo Covenant. Really has.
All right, thank you, Dean. And again, we'll have
Mhm.
more opportunity at the end to for questions that you guys may have. All right. So, what does the day look like? And again, this is on the website as well. And just it obviously you maybe have gotten there already, but our website is noregretsconference.org, noregretsconference.org, and a lot of this information is up there as well. But what the day looks like is again maybe skip that first line there. We at Elmbrook Church we do provide some seminars before the event starts because the guys just can never get enough seminars. So they, we do provide a few early bird seminars before it opens. But really, what the day looks like is that there's an opening session and a closing session, and each one of those, everybody views or everybody takes part in that, and that's usually an hour and a half or so. And that's when we have live worship, we have inspirational testimonies, we have a keynote message from one of our platform speakers. And then we also that kind of the same thing follows up in the afternoon for the closing general session. And again, everybody's viewing that. Then during the in between those, we have three seminar periods where we have a 30-minute discussion or seminar. We have a 15-minute break, and you can use that break however you want. Obviously, we put up discussion questions on the stream, and we encourage men to break up into small groups and really discuss the talk that they just heard, and then and really and we have three of those throughout the day, and then obviously the closing general session in the afternoon. And so that's kind of the general makeup of it. Pretty simple. Um, just an example again of this year coming up. If you look at kind of that opening session, we're going to have Kenny Luck will be our opening speaker. We'll have worship testimony, the keynote message, and some other things going on. Then the first seminar period, each of you will have four options to choose from. And this is the great thing is that you can look at ahead of time and decide, which speaker, what topic you want to stream to your location. Now, again, a small group in someone's home, you could just stream one of these talks and the guys choose which one they want. Or in a church or a larger facility, you could stream all four. We have a lot of churches that do that. They have four different rooms going on in their church. They stream each one of these talks to those rooms, and the guys just go to the room that they choose. And but you can kind of see what at least the first session there, what it looks like. And just to mention, we do have some of the topics that we have. We do also have talks that we, in a sense, recommend for young men. And these would be high school, college age guys. Again, doesn't mean everyone can attend it, but the topic or the speaker will really hit some points for young guys. Again, for this year, our theme is surrender, coming from Romans 12:1. And therefore, I urge you, brothers and sisters, in view of God's mercy, to offer your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and pleasing to God. This is your true and proper worship. And we're real excited about this. I think, especially in light of what's going on in the world today and what happened over the last few weeks, um, we we really need to surrender before we can move forward. And until we surrender parts of our life, it's very difficult for God to really use us in a mighty way. And so a lot of the talks will kind of focus on this theme. And this kind of is a theme that will drive the day. Our speakers this year, again, as you see, probably can see on the website, another just unbelievable list of speakers. A.R. Bernard, Simon Mendevi from Africa, Thaddeus Williams, Steve Carter, Kenny Luck, Steve Sonderman, Chris Brown, Bob Merritt, and Jonathan Massarian. And again, you'll be able to, if you're not able to stream these or listen to some of these talks, every one of these talks, including the breakout sessions at Elmbrook Church, will be available on the website for free right after the conference. So, or also through our No Regrets app. And so, don't feel like you're not going to be able to listen to every one of these guys. So again, what does it look like when you register as a host site or a small group or as an individual? This is a couple weeks ahead of the conference. You will get a link to this channel selection schedule. And it's basically a layout of the day like we just saw. So in the opening and closing session, everybody will be, listening to the same content and stream. And that will be available on all four channels, channel 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then during the day, again, you can choose up from 1 to 4 of these talks and they're streamed on a different channel. So again, if you have a location where you want to stream all four of these, basically you'll pull up your computer in each one of those rooms, pull up the link, click on the link, and then click on one of the channels for that room, and then you'll be able to have that talk stream. Again, if you have one location or one room, you can go back and forth between different channels throughout the day and pick and choose which speaker, which topic you want. So it's very, very flexible. Again, some of the streaming requirements, again, it's pretty simple these days. It's kind of like just clicking on a YouTube video. But again, you'll receive a live stream link via the web browser, and you just pull it up on your laptop. Um, the system requirements, I'm assuming that most of your locations have these levels of Windows 7 or higher and Mac OS 10.6 or higher. But obviously update your browser before the event just so you have all the recent versions of Firefox or Chrome. And we also provide a test video link, and I'll show you where that is. But ahead of the conference, you can click on this link, test out your video stream, and really make sure that you understand how it all works and the bandwidth is working in your location. Again, if you have any questions on this ahead of time, we have people that can help you with that. All right. Some of the other thing is local worship options. So as I mentioned, we do have sites. Again, we provide live worship over the stream, which is tremendous. It's excellent. So you can either listen to that, sing along with us, or we do have sites that provide their own worship. So they'll have their own worship team break away for that 15 minutes when we go to worship, and they'll have their own local worship, and then they'll jump back with us. And we provide a countdown clock on channel 5 so that your team knows when to jump back in to the stream. The other thing is that again, the flexibility of it is amazing. It really is a DVR-like control. It's like a YouTube video. So if you're on the West Coast or a different time, you can literally just move the cursor. You'll jump in. Maybe the conference has already started. You just have to bring your cursor back to the beginning, and you'll join the conference at the beginning. The other way that this is used is if you want to extend your discussion period. We build in 15 minutes for discussion, but we have some churches that want to go 20 minutes or even 30 minutes. And so they'll just pause the stream and then start up when they're done, and the conference will continue. Now, obviously, your day is going to be longer, and you need to build that into your schedule and kind of plan that ahead of time so that the men know how long your day is. Other churches, they build in a lunch break or a breakfast break, and they'll pause the stream, break away for a half hour, and then come back and be able to not miss anything, but just continue the conference. We do provide live streaming test dates. So, and once you register, you'll be communicated with all this. In early January, we'll do 5 live stream test dates. So basically, we'll send out a link to you, like that spreadsheet that you saw. You'll be able to literally click on it, view a seminar from a past conference to just test out your system. Tech support, we use an app called Slack for real-time tech support. So your who's ever running your stream or the guy in your living room. If there is a question, there is a link on that matrix that you can click on and literally ask a question during the day, or if you see something going incorrectly with the audio or video.
Can I ask a quick question?
Sure.
So in the feeds, for example, you have the four feeds going. If one room pauses, does the other three keep going, or is it one master control?
No, it each individually paused or each individually controlled. I'm sorry.
Okay, thank you.
So yeah, it's a good point. You do, and that's why I said if you are going to say for discussion purposes, if you want to have a 20-minute discussion time, you really need to decide that ahead of time. Especially if you're having multiple rooms, right? So then you say, okay, we're just gonna, so every room knows that after 20 minutes, we're gonna start to stream up again. That's a good question. Now, obviously, if you're a small group and sitting in guys in someone's living room, which we have a lot of small groups all over the world, then we've had guys, they have a 45-minute discussion and, then they just started up after that. But yeah, when you have multiple streams going, a lot of guys, yeah, we really encourage you to kind of decide that ahead of time. Yeah, the tech support's there on the day of for any questions that may come up. And then we also, a week or two before, we will provide a link to our stage timer. So that is our software we use to basically the minute by minute rundown of the conference. And so you'll be able to see, kind of by minute how the conference is going to be laid out and specifically what's going on so that you have a very good feel for how you want to run your day. All right. Host at your church. So here again, this is just this is on the website, and so this is if you just kind of scroll down on the website under host at your church, you'll see the test the video stream. So this is just the link that I mentioned to you. You can do this anytime to test out your video, just to see how it works, and if And again, I think most facilities and even most homes right now, the technology is there. It should not be a problem. Support and resources. Um, Again, here, a lot of them available. We'll talk about this in a second, but we do provide via the website a resource portal. And we use a software called Kajabi. That's not necessary to know that, but it's an area that we'll talk about in a minute. But you can ask questions there. It's monitored daily. We also have a general email, host sites at noregretsmen.org. You can send in a question, anytime now up until the conference, or you can just email me, david.sonderman at noregretsmen.org and ask me anything. And if I don't know it, I'll find the right person to answer the question. We also, obviously, I'm sure, like all of us, prayer is so important in all of this, and we do have a prayer team lead, Bland Campbell. And if you need to email him with prayer requests or anything we can do for you in regards to that, please email him. And then the conference and the ministry websites. Just to really encourage you, especially the conference and the ministry, but just go out there and really see what the content is if you have not been there before. So what do we provide? One of the key things we provide that these are available all right now is a host site guide. So a lot of the things we're talking about is in here. It covers, kind of just gives you ideas, make sure your building is reserved, putting your team together, the technical requirements that we talked about. Again, building the team. Again, you don't necessarily have to do these things. And again, depending, you can make it great thing about this is you can do this very simply. You can do it as a small group. I mean, have 20 guys in your church or home and just stream one of the talks and enjoy the conference together. You can go, you can bring in worship, you can bring in your own speakers. And depending on how big of an event is, you want to have a team that can really help you do this, not just yourself. And we kind of have some areas that you may want to think about. Planning your event. So really thinking about the schedule and pricing, what do we want to charge the men? There is a cost to the conference. It's very reasonable. But you do have a budget, especially if you're thinking about providing food and other things, do you want to charge the guys and how will you do that? Um, and then promoting the event, we'll talk about that in a minute. And then after the event, how to really get your guys engaged with the follow-up study and other resources afterwards. So that's not just a one-day event. So it's a great, great piece of content that is provided to you. We also provide a digital program for the day. So it includes, the speakers and bios and every talk and the description of the talk, provides note-taking pages. So you can print this out for your guys. It is on our No Regrets app that they can use, or you can provide it digitally to your guys as well. Again, speaking of the app, I encourage you and encourage your guys to really download the No Regrets app. Not only is the conference program on there, but also all of our other content. So all the other talks from past seminars and this upcoming conference seminars will be on there that your guys can listen to, as well as other Bible studies and podcasts and leadership resources. Publicity resources. So these are some of the ones that you'll have access to. Business cards, postcards, flyers, posters, banners, and all of them you can see there. They're editable, and we provide editable or editing software if you don't have it yourself. And this is a great place where you can put your address of your church name or your business name or your address on there, any other information that you want to provide to the men of your church or community. We also provide a social media kit, so graphics and content, so you can put it on your own social media, your church's social media. And then in the next week or so, we'll have a promotional video available that you can show at a Sunday service or a men's event. Promotion. And Dean, kind of maybe unmute, and this is an area that would want some additional information. So, or some of your input in regards to, maybe, and we'll go through a few of these things, but at your church, what are some of the ideas that you've used to really promote the conference to the men of your church?
Yeah, we hit it hard starting January 1 because we have to get through Christmas stuff, and we don't like promoting it during Christmas because there's so many things going on. But we hit it hard. January 1st comes. My guys have met once or twice beforehand, and then we meet several times during that month with what kind of promotion do we want. We go to several churches in our community and invite them. Each year we have about 3 to 4 churches represented besides ourselves. We like to make this truly an ecumenical thing. A lot of free churches come and others, covenant churches and whatever. But we print the brochures off of that, off the website for posters. We print up the little 4x6 cards. We're handing those out for 3 Sundays to all the guys. I walk around with the card saying, "Give me your smartphone, hit the QR code, register now." And a big thing that we do is a breakfast at 7 a.m. and it's free. They can make a donation if they want, and we have anywhere from 100 to 130 guys come to that breakfast, and our guys at our church put that on for them every year, and they absolutely love it. But yeah, we just promote the heck out of it. We have a table for 2 Sundays out in the lobby, out in front of our worship center, and I mean we are, like I said, I'll repeat it. We hit it hard for 1 month, and it pays off.
Yeah, excellent, excellent. I guess that while I have you on is maybe we were talking about kind of the flexibility of the conference How do you guys run what do you have for the conference? How do you guys run it? How many seminar channels or
Sure.
lunch or whatever else?
Yeah. So we do the breakfast, and then we have a really great tech team. We've got TVs in every one of our classrooms. We have maybe 20, 25 different classrooms. So what we do is we take part in the opening worship, and then we have already pre-selected two talks we're going to watch during each of the three sessions. We select two from each session. We broadcast those to two different rooms, and then we also have a live speaker for two of those three sessions. So session one, two videos to choose, or two speakers to choose from, or the live speaker. Session two, two sessions to choose from, or our second live speaker. We choose a speaker from our church and then a speaker from the community, one of the other local pastors or a lay leader, and and it's not. I mean, it really works well. The men just choose. It's not like they all come to our live speaker. They spread it out. It works really well. And then we have our own worship team to close with. So we hear the final talk, but do our own closing worship. And then we invite all the churches that are present to make brief announcements of what they're doing in their churches in the coming weeks and months for men's ministry. And it's been very well received by the churches in our community. So,
Tremendous. Yeah. No, a couple real key points there that you brought up is again one, it's amazing the variety of ways churches and groups are using the conference, and it's up to you how you want to use it. You can make it as simple or large as you want. And again, you could stream one of these into your worship center, and that's it. And that would be a tremendous day. Or you can tell you what Dean did is they kind of bring in a couple of the messages, and they bring in some local speakers as well, and then have their own worship. So you can kind of do it any way you want.
yeah,
And so just so tremendous how
yeah.
you guys are using that.
One other thing we have added the last 2 years is we have our own little prayer room. Have two men who are willing to not go to some of the meetings and just stay in there and offer prayer for anybody who needs it. And we promote that during the breakfast and before the conference on that day, letting people know there's a room to come in and avail yourself to prayer by other individuals. So, and it hasn't been greatly attended, but people who need prayer come and have prayer. So,
Oh, that's great to mention. You can see that
yeah,
obviously it's my first bullet point is really this everything around this. It needs to be just bathed in prayer. And
yep,
is once the first thing to do is even before you build a team is if you got a couple guys that are thinking about this, is to really pray about it, is how will God use this, and then kind of who should be on the team and really be praying for that. I'm glad you mentioned the prayer room. We have that at Elmbrook as well. We have prayer guys walking around the building, just looking for guys that kind of have that look on their feeling that they're convicted of something, or they're just struggling, and it's so important to no matter how big or small of a conference you end up having, or men is to have some sort of prayer support in that. So very, very important. Um, and then I think the other thing you mentioned, Dean, was other churches. Again, don't be afraid to team up with another church or two in your community, especially if you have a relationship with them already. Is kind of work together to reach your overall community. There should be no competition in this all. And it's really about reaching men for Christ, and work with your other churches in the area. We have some big churches up in northern Wisconsin that they actually rotate the conference between the churches. So each
mm,
year they'll do it at someone else's church, but they all kind of attend together, and it's just a tremendous way to build that camaraderie and brotherhood among the churches in the area.
Dean, can I
Um,
ask a question of you?
sure you can.
So, Dean, how did you reach out to the other churches? We tried that a couple of years ago and it went poorly.
uh, well, in my situation, I was a pastor here in Buffalo many years ago as a Presbyterian at the Presbyterian Church, and met a lot of the ministers then, and some of them are still in the area. But I'm an outgoing go-getter guy. I've met all the ministers in our community. We do have a ministerial fellowship, and I end up just going to their churches with a flyer or cards and saying, "Hey, it's coming up. Would you put this up?" And they say, "Sure." Um, and you know, I've been fortunate that way. God has blessed me with the ability. If there's a new minister in town, I'll go out and introduce myself to them. We're a community of 15,000 with many churches, and we're the largest church in the area at about 700 members. And I just I just get out and knock on doors and say, "Hey, you're welcome to come," and they do or they don't. Um,
Yeah.
so it
Yeah.
just worked for
Yeah.
us.
Yeah, no, I think, and Jason, I think it is it is a real life, situation. Obviously you've experienced it, and I have as well. Is, and yeah, it's hard to understand why. You just tried to, I think a lot of times, especially, someone coming from No Regrets Ministry, I think sometimes churches feel we're trying to steal someone to our church, or, just some crazy things going on. But yeah, it does happen. And but I think if a lot of times, like Dean said, I know that our local pastor, there's pastor groups and organizations, and our pastor, they kind of get together. And if that is happening in your community, maybe you start with your pastor and say, "Hey, what other pastors do you know in the area, or who do you kind of get together with or have a relationship with?" And maybe have your pastor kind of help get those relationships going. But it's not always easy. I will,
Yeah,
we'll admit to that.
yeah,
Um, yeah. So again, third point there is, really get support from your pastor or leadership. Obviously that helps a lot, in regards to promotion and get the thing. But again, sometimes sadly, ministry to men is always not on the top of pastors' agendas, for a variety of reasons. But we know it's important. We think it's critical. But we know sometimes it's an uphill battle, and we'll come alongside you in any way we can to help you do that. But that is important. Pricing, I mentioned, it's really up to you, and there is some things in the host site guide on this. But I would just, again, just put a simple budget together, and what you guys are spending on the event. And some churches charge nothing. Others charge, 10, 15, $20, depending on what you guys want to do. And again, look at it maybe possibly as a way to get to build some money for your ministry to men, for future events. But that's obviously all up to you. Again, just some ideas of promoting to the men. I know Dean mentioned some of these, but, you know, putting it on your church website, try to get, approval to promote it on a weekend service, as Dean was saying too. Ask for tables in the lobby. Can they announce it from the stage? Can they play the promo video, hand out flyers? If you have a men's event, a retreat, or a breakfast, promote it there. Church events, partner with other ministries. Partner with, again, I really encourage you, and it really works well, is to partner with other women's ministries, because wives and daughters and girlfriends, and mothers, they would love for the men in their life to attend this conference. It's only going to help. And so if you can work with the women's ministry in your church or area, to really help you promote through the wives and daughters and the mothers, that will really be a big boost. And then father-son promotions. That's one of the things that we try to do at our church, is to really, because and really the conference, I would say probably, 15 years and older. So, middle school, high school, college age kids, but really promote that father-son, promotion, that fathers bring their sons and really spend the day together.
yeah.
Again, we on the website, just so you know, we do have apparel. We have conference t-shirts. We have a lot of apparel. And again, it's not a huge business for us, but we know that churches like to be able to have some of this. And again, especially the t-shirts, great way to maybe, get some of those for your team, so that you have some of those t-shirts available. They can be ordered online, and you can resell them if you want. That's kind of up to you guys, or just get for your team or other people at the conference. And then, just again, looking at the website, on the website page. You can see we do have a link there to the resource portal. We show the conference schedule, and then that link, the conference schedule detail, that is always being updated. So that's that documented. You can print that out or scan it. But once we have the seminar descriptions, we'll start inserting those in there. So that is right. You can access on the website today. And then further down on the website, we have a lot of frequently asked questions on a variety of different things in regards to the conference schedule and the technical needs and strategic role of the pastor, marketing season, worship song. Once we know our worship songs, we'll post them on there so that you know them and can get familiar with them. We also have a host site directory. So when you register, we put you on our host site directory. So if someone is looking to attend a church for the conference, you can put your website on there. You can put your address, location on the map, and we will promote that to people across the country, so that they know if they want to attend, they know who is hosting. And then the portal. Again, on the website, this is the top of the website page. There is a button there, resource portal. And we also have a video available on that page, which is, why would you want to host? So if you want to listen to a bunch of other churches really give their testimonies like Dean has, in regards to, why host, that's a great video to watch. But if you click on that resource portal, you kind of will sign in. And again, this is once you register, you'll have access to this. And you'll go to, again, if you're signing up as a host site, you'll be able to view the host site program. And then that'll take you to this portal. And it'll have various areas. You'll have a link there right in the bottom middle for the digital resource landing page. That's where you get all your publicity materials and promo videos and follow-up study. That's where all the materials are for you. We communicate this way, so we'll constantly push out information, and you'll get an email, or anybody on your team that you want to sign up to get these, you can. So it can be you or your whole team can get these this access to this, and so we'll push material. But then also you can ask questions. You can ask questions of us. You can ask questions of other churches. So again, just like we were talking about, you can put on here, hey, we need prayer for something specific, or hey, how do you other churches? How do you promote to young men in your community? And churches communicate with each other. It's a great portal to have cross communication. And again, this is just a page, a shot of the resource portal publicity resources. So this is, again, where you'll get your printable resources, the digital program for the day, the host site guide, the follow-up study, small group, how to lead a small group video series. The discussion questions, we'll post that as well, the schedule for the day. All that information, you can access it through this portal. And then again, this is just a kind of a glimpse of the materials we talked about, all the different versions, the editing software that we provide. And even if you want to talk to our graphic artist, she will work with you in regards to maybe customizing something for you if we don't have what you need. And then lastly, before we kind of open up for questions, is really how to register. So now that you're all excited and want to do this, is where do I go now? So on the website under host at your church, you would scroll down to this section of the page. And if you are a new host site, we encourage you to click on the new host site form, and you can fill that out. And you'll be contacted with one of our ambassadors, and and Chris will talk to you and ask any final questions you have. Maybe after this you don't have any, and that's fine. You can just go register, but you may have some other questions and want to, maybe ask some of those questions ahead of time. But then you register by the size of your church attendance. So as you can see, we have four different areas, kind of small, small, medium, medium, large, and large. And you don't have to be exact on this. We're not going to come and count the people at your Sunday service. But what is your weekly attendance, your average weekly attendance on a Sunday? If you're below 100 and you're a very small church, then sign up for a small church. If you have over 750 people on an average Sunday, then you're a large church, and et cetera. So it obviously is up to you to just make that estimate and sign up appropriately. But you can see very reasonable, 3, 4, 800, 1,000. Again, if you end up charging the men $10, $15, you can obviously probably cover your costs, or depending on what you want to do there. So with that, I'll open it up to questions. So we have maybe 10 minutes or so, but and again, if we don't get to them all, you can always email me, and we'll try to help you out from there. But any questions? And if you need a question, obviously unmute yourself and fire away. Well, I must have done a good job.
I was going to say.
I know it's a lot of information. But yeah, again, obviously that's fine. Again, what we'll do is this is being recorded, and we will send out a link to it so that you can kind of review that and see maybe some of the information that you possibly mixed. But also, email us back if you have any other further questions as you go down about anything. And even after you register for the conference, please let us know. And again, I think, make the point where it does not have to be complicated. It can be very simple. Again, if you're starting out and you're just not sure about some things, then maybe just start as a small group. Sign up as a small group of 10, 20 guys in your church. You could do it in someone's home, or you could do it even at church, and just sign up there, stream it into your worship center, and have a great day. Let's see. I think there was a. Oh, okay, so someone's just saying thank you. I'll present to our executive pastor and get back to us. So, yeah, you could also put something in the chat if you want to ask a question. Obviously, that's there as well. But we'll send this out, and I do appreciate everybody joining, and hope you register. I think the impact it has is tremendous, and it'll be well worth it. And we're here to help you along the way, and even afterwards. So again, thank you, appreciate it, and